Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is October 27, 2021. On the screen here, you notice that this is a chart of the multiple index, and the Dow Jones Industrial and the S&P 500 made a new all-time closing high yesterday. So what does it all mean? In this video, we're going to take a look at it and see what are the implications, so stay tuned. So I'm going to deviate from my standard routine on this video. Instead of looking at the internals and also the S&P 500 price action, let's start off with this chart where we have all the major market indexes. All these arrows are pointing out to the day that these index close at a new all-time closing high. And as you can see, the New York Stock Exchange Composite made a new all-time closing high a couple of days ago. And look at the transportation, although recently had a pretty good rally, but the index made a new all-time closing high way back in the month of May. But the Dow Jones Industrial made a new all-time closing high yesterday, along with the S&P 500. And the NASDAQ, although the NASDAQ came pretty close, but it did not close at a new all-time closing high. And the last time that it closed with a new all-time high was back in September, and same with the NASDAQ Composite. And notice the Russell 2000 almost came up to the high, but it still fell. And right now it is pulling back, and the all-time closing high for the Russell 2000 was back in March of this year. So it's been quite a while for the Russell 2000, and it still failed to be able to come up near the all-time closing high. So let's take a look at the daily price action of the S&P 500. As you can see, it looks like a little bit of an evening star. We got a more like a graveyard doji yesterday, and today we have a solid red candle going down, and right now it seems like a little bit of a evening star type of pattern. So could this be the top here from yesterday, the spiky high over there? Well, we're going to take a look at it later on, and we'll give you my interpretation of what this price action is telling us. So remember, we were basically looking for a possibility of a pullback to fill this gap, and then possibly also come down and fill this gap here. So right now we are still looking for the S&P 500 to come down and possibly get back into this zone here, somewhere around the 4,400 level on the pullback. And for the NASDAQ 100, you can see the NASDAQ 100 did make a intraday all-time high, but it did not close with a new all-time closing high. The close is what matters, right? Every fund, they base on the performance on the closing price, not on the intraday price. That's why close is what matters, right? So it did not close with a new all-time closing high. Apologize for the hoarse voice today, so bear with me on this, all right? So anyway, but right now the price is pulling back. You look at both days, yesterday and today, a spike up, unable to hold a high, and close near the the lower portion of the candle. Today near the low, yesterday as a lower third of the candle. And here looking at the Russell 2000, see how it got rejected at this level here, right at this edge of this balance area, and now it's pulling back. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it come down and test the 2195 and see what it holds. If it doesn't hold, then we'd be basically looking for a complete retracement to the lower bottom of this balance area at 2134. And here looking at the Dow Jones Transportation, you see that Dow Jones Transportation almost came up to make a new all-time closing high. I mean, an all-time intraday high, but it did not. Yesterday it fell short and it closed near the bottom, near the low of the price range yesterday. And today it tried to move up, unable to hold above yesterday's close, and it just gave up. And right now it's pulling back. So watch for it to come back down to this 15,346 level. All right. So unless it could come up and take out this high, I think this transportation is ready for another pullback. And here on the Dow Jones Industrial, we saw the Dow Jones Industrial made a new closing high yesterday, right? And the Dow Jones Transportation did not make a new closing high. So based on the Dow theory, that is an unconfirmed closing high for the Dow Jones Industrial. So we'll talk about what the implication of that mean later on in my conclusion. So stay tuned. Now, we saw some strong move on the New York Stock Exchange Composite Index a couple days ago and closed with a new all-time closing high. But yesterday, unable to close with the Dow Jones and also the S&P 500 a new closing high. And today, you see this tremendous pullback. So right now, we're going to see what it'll be able to hold about this 16,874. And here is the NASDAQ Composite. They also failed to come up to close at a new closing high and failed to make a new intraday high. At least the NASDAQ 100 got to, put in a new all-time intraday high. As you can see, the last couple of days was pretty bearish. Now let's take a look at this sentiment chart here. As you can see, the sentiment is still under 20, so the market participants are still relatively complacent. It's sitting at 16.98 or close to 17. And the put call ratio is still underneath the 0.75, sitting at 0.58. So the market participants are still putting on risk. So as you can see today, the S&P 500 is down 23 points or 0.51%. And here looking at the internal, we see that even yesterday when the S&P 500 was putting in a new all-time high and closed at a new all-time closing high, the up-down volume was actually negative. It was negative 1.5 in favor of the down volume. And the advanced decline, the decliner led the advancer by 346 issues. And today, with a reversal day, we saw the up-down volume ratio of minus 3.74 in favor of the down volume. And the advanced decline, the decliner led the advancer by 1,441. And looking at the new 52-week high and 52-week low, look at yesterday when the S&P 500 made a new all-time high. The new 52-week low was 208. The new 52-week high was 208, and the new 52-week low was 29. So again, you could see that the new high is holding up there. But today, as you can see on a reversal day, the number of new 52-week high is only 94. But the 52-week low came up to 50. And here, looking at the New York Stock Exchange cumulative AD line, we see this divergence. We saw that divergence yesterday, right, with more decliner than advancer, while the S&P 500 pushed to a new high. And today, the AD line continued to come down. So we could see that right now, at least for a near term, we're going to see a little bit more of a pullback. Slightly different for the NASDAQ 100. Yesterday, as the NASDAQ 100 pushed to get close to the new high, it did make a intraday high. I believe, let's see here, the intraday high was 710.79, and here is 701, and here is 696. So as it make a new intraday all-time high yesterday, the up-down volume ratio was positive 1.31 in favor of the up volume, but we did see more declining issue than advancing issue by a margin of 420. And today it is pulling back after intraday all-time high. As you can see here on this bubble here, 15,729.75, that is the all-time high. But look at the up-down volume ratio, it was minus 1.29 in favor of the down volume, and also the advanced decline was 1,887, more declining issue than advancing issues. And as you can see, there are more new 52-week low today than new 52-week high in the NASDAQ market. And there was only 110 new 52-week high and 135 new 52-week low. So there's a 25 more new 52-week low than 52-week high. And here we see the negative divergence between the NASDAQ AD line and the NASDAQ 100 continues. As you can see that the AD line is rolling over, continue to slide downward, and the NASDAQ 100 is trying to push into a new high. So what does it all mean? With the Dow Jones Industrial made a new unconfirmed high, and also the S&P 500 made a new high yesterday. with a negative AD line, well, that means that the market is not strong. Is this the top? Well, let me say that it could be a top, but let's not call that out ahead of ourselves. But definitely we should be careful of a major pullback here. I mean, we could see this pullback of more than a couple percent. Now, am I bearish on this market here? Well, sort of, because you could see with, just looking at Tesla, how Tesla is being run up, okay, and how it unable to hold a high every day. They run it up and then they sell it down, right? Okay, so, but still, close with a gain for each one of the last 2 days. So again, look at the euphoria. Now, we do have some earning coming out from Apple and Amazon, so that might help kind of hold that market up a little bit longer, but be careful of any unconfirmed high. When I say unconfirmed high, I mean whichever index it is, making new high with non-supported new high by other indexes. If you want to understand the indicators that I review on my video, go watch this video, the 7 indicators that you should know about watching the market. I have the link in the description below. So watch that video and get an understanding of the market internals, how important they are. Be sure to smash that thumbs up and help me promote and share this video. Thank you for watching and stay safe.